You know, when we think of the solar system, we usually picture this kind of static, orderly model, right? The planets just circling the sun, frozen in their orbits. But the thing is, that couldn't be more wrong. Our solar system is a family, a really, really dramatic one, with a shared, violent, and just incredible history. So today, that's the story we're going to tell. A biography of our cosmic home, from its wild birth all the way to its, well, its inevitable end.
And right at the heart of this whole epic saga is one main character that calls all the shots: our sun. I mean, this quote really nails it. It's the key to everything: the past, present, and future of every single planet. From the moment it was born to its very last breath, it's all dictated by the star it orbits.
All right, so where does a story like this even begin? Well, we've got to rewind the clock way back, like 4.5 billion years back. This is a time before any of the planets even existed. Our neighborhood? It wasn't a home yet. It was just this huge, swirling, chaotic cloud of gas and dust hanging out in space.
So picture this. Gravity starts pulling all that dust and gas inward. As it collapses, it starts to spin, faster and faster, flattening out into this giant disk. Think of it like spinning pizza dough. This was our solar nebula. Right in the middle, the pressure and temperature went through the roof until, boom, nuclear fusion ignited and our sun flickered into life. And all around it, in that spinning disk, the real construction began. Tiny little dust grains started bumping into each other and sticking together. It's a process called accretion. And over the next 100 million years or so, those tiny specks became pebbles, the pebbles became boulders, and those boulders grew into the massive planets we see today.
Now, right from the start, the brand new sun basically drew a line in the sand, splitting its planetary family into two totally different groups. See, close to the sun, it was scorching hot. Only tough stuff like rock and metal could handle the heat, and that's how we got the small, dense, rocky planets like Earth. But if you went further out, past something called the frost line, it was cold enough for ices to form, and that ice, that was a game changer. It was a ton of extra building material, which is why the outer planets, the Jovian planets, were able to grow into those colossal gas and ice giants.
Okay, so the stage is set, and this is where the individual stories really kick off. I mean, every single planet has its own wild tale, a drama shaped by how it was born, who its neighbors were, and of course its relationship with the sun. And trust me, some of these stories are absolutely epic.
Let's start with the king, the big boss, Jupiter. Being the first and the biggest, it had a massive influence. In the early days, it acted like a giant wrecking ball, spiraling inward toward the sun. It scattered debris everywhere, and basically starved a young Mars of the material it needed to grow bigger. It was a real bully. But then, Saturn showed up. The two giants fell into this perfect gravitational lockstep, this incredible dance that stopped Jupiter dead in its tracks and started pulling it back out. That move, right there, probably saved the inner solar system from being completely obliterated.
So yeah, Jupiter is this fascinating character, part bully, part savior. Because as it was moving back out, its powerful gravity acted like a slingshot, flinging water-rich asteroids toward the inner planets. That's how Earth likely got the water for its oceans. And even today, Jupiter acts as our cosmic bodyguard, its massive gravity deflecting countless comets and asteroids that would otherwise be heading our way. Seriously, we might owe our very existence to that gas giant's wild youth.
And that whole story with Jupiter, it leads us directly to one of the most tragic tales in the solar system. I mean, think about it. We are obsessed with Mars right now, right? We're sending rovers looking for any sign of life. But maybe the real question isn't, could life be there, but why isn't it there now? What happened to the vibrant world Mars used to be?
See, billions of years ago, Mars had it all. It looked a lot like a young Earth, actually. It had deep oceans, a thick atmosphere, even a magnetic field to protect it. But remember Jupiter's rampage? It left Mars, well, kind of stunted. It was just too small. Because it was small, its core cooled down and solidified way too fast. And when the core died, the magnetic field died with it. Without that protective shield, the sun's solar wind just relentlessly sandblasted Mars for billions of years, stripping away its air and water, turning it into the cold, barren desert we know today.
And this story of cosmic violence is written everywhere you look. Take Saturn's rings. I mean, they're probably the most beautiful, elegant things in the whole solar system, right? But their backstory is anything but. The leading theory is that those rings are the glittering, icy guts of a moon that got a little too curious. It strayed too close, crossed this invisible line called the Roche limit, and Saturn's gravity just tore it to pieces. Those beautiful rings are a cosmic crime scene.
And speaking of weird, our solar system has a couple of real oddballs. You've got Venus, which for some reason spins backwards compared to just about everyone else. That's strange. But then there's Uranus, and oh man, Uranus is on a completely different level of bizarre.
The whole planet, its rings, its moons, everything is tilted over by almost 98 degrees. So it doesn't spin around the sun, it basically rolls. How does that even happen? Well, the only theory that really makes sense is a catastrophe of epic proportions. A long time ago, something huge, maybe the size of Earth, just slammed right into it. The impact didn't just knock Uranus over on its side, it might have also cracked it open in a way, letting all its internal heat bleed out into space. And that would explain why it's the coldest planet in the solar system. Yep, even colder than Neptune, which is way further out.
But hey, the story doesn't stop with the 8 big planets. Not even close. If we really want to get the full picture, we have to travel out way beyond them, to the true edge of our system.
And yeah, out here is where we have to talk about Pluto. The big question, right? Why is it not a planet anymore? Okay, so back in 2006, scientists basically tightened up the definition of planet. To make the cut, a world has to do 3 things. 1, orbit the sun. Pluto does that. 2, be massive enough for its own gravity to make it round. Pluto does that too. But number 3, it has to have cleared its orbital neighborhood, meaning it has to be the gravitational king of its own orbit. Pluto fails that test. It lives in the Kuiper Belt, which is super crowded with other icy objects, so it got reclassified as a dwarf planet.
But if you really want to talk about scale, we have to go even further out. Way past the Kuiper Belt is something called the Oort Cloud. It's hard to even wrap your head around. It's this gigantic spherical shell of icy comets and debris that surrounds the entire solar system, and it stretches for nearly a light year. This is the real frontier. It's the place where the sun's gravity finally lets go and the rest of the galaxy begins.
Okay, so after that wild trip to the edge, it's time to come back home, back to Earth, because we have to face the final chapter in this whole story. And it's a future that's already been written, not by us, but by the very star that created everything in the first place.
You know, for billions of years, Earth has been this incredible, fragile oasis. It's got liquid water, a stable atmosphere, a magnetic shield. Everything is just right. All these factors have held steady for so long, it's what allowed complex life, us, to evolve. We are, without a doubt, living in the golden age of our planet. But, like all good stories, this one has an ending. See, as our sun gets older, it's also getting hotter. In about 1 billion years from now, it'll be so hot that our oceans will literally boil away. And that's the end of complex life on Earth. Fast forward to about 5 billion years from now, and the sun runs out of its main fuel, hydrogen. It will swell up into a massive red giant, expanding so much it will swallow Mercury and then Venus. And Earth, well, will either be completely vaporized or just torched into a dead, lifeless cinder. The very star that gave us life will, in the end, be the one to take it away.
So this biography of our solar system, it's a story of incredible violence, but also of delicate balance and just pure cosmic luck. And the amazing thing is, even after 4.5 billion years, we're still just flipping through the first few chapters. It makes you wonder, right? What other stories, what other secrets are still out there, hidden in the planets, moons, and all those icy bodies, just waiting for us to discover them?